Am I stupid for even doing that? How I do firewood, is it worth my time? I'm hoping it's a cord. That's one way to get Pacific species, and I thought I could pick it up in wood load. Oak here is not very prevalent, okay? Now these logs here are special, and welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. And today I want to share with you these logs. So yeah, last week I was busy. I was at a neighbor's house, as you saw the post the other day. That species was cottonwood, and I'm sure it's over a cord. Sadly, I had to bring over my champion several times over the course of the week because I only work like 3-4 hours a day on that project. I can't really tow these. I can't really tow the Spitfire. I just tow a bull, but it's not roadworthy, and I had to go far enough where I didn't feel comfortable. So, yeah, I was just having to use the slow pace of the champion, but I get the job done. Anyway, one of those days, I picked up these logs right here. Now, these logs here are special because they're oak. So here's the story, okay? No action today. This is a story time. I want to share with you how I got these logs and why I got these logs and the plan. So I have a customer, and he's a meat smoker, and he loves oak. And so I was in contact with him. I had to purchase oak from a fellow firewood guy in my area, and I flipped it and I delivered it to my customer, who was burning it. Then his wife started to burn it for their own wood stove. Then he got upset with her, so I sold him some other wood, some maple, this past fall. So he was warm in-house type thing. So since then, I have not been able to find oak. I had one guy who had oak logs, and I thought that he would be a good source. Turns out he sold them without telling me. I was trying to work it out. So I've been browsing Marketplace for oak logs for a while now, and not having much luck, because oak here is not very prevalent, okay? Oak here is not prevalent, and even getting free wood, getting a hardwood is very rare. So I knew I had to buy the logs. So I'm scouring Marketplace, and I come upon an ad for kiln dried hardwood or oak. So I reached out to the person. I said, "Hey, do you have oak logs?" And they said yes. And I'm like, "Can I buy the logs from you, or buy them unprocessed, or buy them undried out, you know?" And they said maybe. And they got back to me. They said, "This is the pile we have. So this is the pile here. You see it here. And I don't know how much this would yield. There are some wonky pieces in here that will be sold for chunks. I think that would still be fine for my smoker guy." So we work out a plan. This load was $200. Okay. My wood yard is not set up for buying logs. I don't have heavy machinery. I don't have a processor. This will all need to be chainsawed to be backed up, and then using the splitter to split it up, and then I need to stack it right away to get it to be as seasoned as possible, type thing. So if you're needing a special type of specific tree species for your own purpose or a customer, that's one way to go about it. Find another person who's selling it and buying it from them. They're advertising firewood, a certain species or whatever. Buy it off them and then try to flip it. But make sure that your profit margins are within that area that is worth your time. Now, I had to travel 20 minutes away from me to pick this up, and I thought I could pick it up in wood load. No, the trailer that I was borrowing and my Porsche Tacoma, it was too much for it to haul, so I had to make 2 trips. So that's 20 minutes, 4 times round trip. It ate up my entire morning, and having to pay the guy $200. My time is invested in this already. My money is invested in this already. but I want to keep my oak customer happy. And I think I still think that in terms of my profit margins, I still think I'll come up ahead, and it will still be worth my time in doing this. So I'm not gonna start bucking this up yet. I will. It's been a busy weekend, but I just wanted to share with you, that's one way to get Pacific species, is to buy it from another firewood person or log person. Now this person who I bought this from, has his own kiln, he sells firewood. He also makes slabs with his wood miser, so that was pretty cool. He did not want to be on camera at all. Apparently, I had reached out to him before for something different, so he recognized me. A nice guy, just didn't want to be on camera, which is fine. Maybe I mean, it's really hard to tell in terms of like the amount of logs and the sizes. They're all wonky. This came down, so this oak tree, again, we don't have oak very much in my area. This came down in the bomb cyclone storm of November 24. His tree company, who he works for, collected it July of 25. So it's been down, been on the ground, dead for a while. So that's in my favor. So I definitely need to buck it up as soon as possible, like I said, and split it up, get it processed, and get it stacked so it's drying, so it's all prepared for my oak customer. That should not take too long. There'll be another test for the 1165V, good times, as well as for the 400C, to see how she will do in bucking up this oak that is, I mean, over a year down. So that may be a factor. Definitely not green. It's not seasoned yet, but we'll see how that does to chew this up to make sure that we can get it processed. So if you have any idea of, honestly speaking, of how much volume this would be, I'm hoping it's a cord. If it's a cord of wood, either at 16 or even the chunks in total volume, and spending $200 in just buying it, and then a whole morning in ferrying the wood back to my wood yard, I'm hoping that I can still at least double my money on that in terms of selling it to my smoker guy. And again, my smoker guy didn't want kiln dried wood, which is why I didn't buy this oak from the seller as kiln dried, because obviously, like I said, he has his own homemade kiln there at his wood yard. But my smoker guy does not want kiln dried, because I think some meat smokers want just enough moisture in the wood to create that smoke to smoke the wood. You know, I mean, I'm not a meat smoker, guys. I don't know that whole science type, but my customer, he wants a little bit of moisture in the wood, hence not being kiln dried. Anyway, so stay tuned on this wood. I wanted just to show you a little bit about it. Again, I don't have a processor, so it'll take me a little bit longer. We'll see how that all goes. I'm still every day trying to figure out in my head to rationalize and calculate and provide the logic of how I do firewood. Is it worth my time? Is it worth the money that I make on it? I can do an episode on the topic if you want me to give you all my 2 cents. But I think one thing I look at it is being outside with the chainsaw, with the splitter, with the axe is therapy for my mental health and my soul, as well as the work is my gym. I don't need to go out to the gym, pay money on the membership. The wood yard is my gym. So I think that's a part of it in terms of fellow firewood fanatics like you all watching the channel, is to keep in mind it's not about the money. It's not about keeping yourself warm and your family warm. It's also about keeping yourself healthy mentally and physically, type thing. So just keep that in mind too when you're looking into improving your wood yard, being more efficient, having to buy more equipment, spending the money on that to reinvest in yourself and your business or your side hustle. Is it worth it? And I think factor in that part. I don't know how you do that, but keeping yourself healthy. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll stop there. I just want to introduce the logs, get your thoughts on the purchase, the investment, the approach. Is that another way to get different species in your wood yard? As long as you can flip it, or if you want that wood in your wood yard to burn, that's one way to do it. To reach out via ads online or Craigslist or whatever type thing. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you the logs, get your insight on the logs. Am I stupid for even doing that? Did I spend too much? And again, getting oak here in the PMW, or at least where I live here, oak is very rare. So, and I'm trying to keep my customers as happy as possible and provide for them the wood they want and the service that they want as well. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers. And I work with a guy, so I told him that I sell firewood, and this will be flipped. So they worked with me. He worked with me on the price, but it was as is price, and he didn't want me. Obviously, he didn't want me to use my chainsaw on his property, even though I brought my chainsaw with me. Any pieces that were too wonky or whatever, too big, he cut up there himself, so there was no liability issues. But